It's time for Tuesday Night Live Chat with Brian S. Red and John Young.
Work it out.
There's this button, see? You got to hit the button, and then we're live. So, hey, good evening. It's Tuesday night, and I am almost all there. It's Brian back for us. Jay will be joining us in just a second here because Zoom has changed up their links a little bit, and it looks different. And I think Jay is having a little bit of a difficulty bouncing into our show for tonight. So that means that for the next few minutes, we have time to talk.
Okay, yeah, we can get a word in edgewise.
So tonight, Brian, we're going to talk about some of our favorite DIY projects, things we've been working on, what have you, things we've seen other DJs out there. Okay. So before we get to the DJ side of it, let's while we're waiting for Jay, we need a car update. We haven't talked about the car in a little while.
Car. You really want to hear about the car?
I do want to hear about the car, and I think there's quite a few. For those of you who do not know, Brian has been working on his father's Mustang. His father passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah, going on 2 years.
Going on 2 years here, and he's been working to restore the car that his father was something they wanted to do. The project.
Yeah, I'm trying to build it in a way where Dad won't get mad at me for what I did. He had a vision, and I'm not exactly following his vision, but I'm doing my best. What's going on with the car? Well, I have an alternator light on, which is actually a generator light in that car, which is kind of cool. But I think I know what the problem is. I'm going to address it as soon as the parts come in. But, of course, you find the problem, and then you have to wait for the parts to come in, which takes time, especially now. I don't expect people to prioritize my parts and shipping with everything else going on, but then you have to wait for it. And then once that part comes in, you try it, see if it works. And that's kind of where we're at. I've got a new fan I'm going to put on it that's going to help cool it, and we're going to take it in for alignment. And after that, I think I'm just going to enjoy it for the year. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to do, like the transmission needs to be re-sealed up and buttoned up a little bit, and I need to get the rear end done, but otherwise the car's done. And I'm just going to have fun with it. So
Excellent.
That's kind of what's going on.
Excellent. Well, good. Yeah, I saw that you had mentioned that there were that you had a generator light on from the other days. So
yeah, and that could be anything. That could be the voltage regulator, or it could be, the harness. And if it's the harness, it's only $89, but it's going to take an afternoon to do it.
To get the old one out and the new one in. Yeah,
I can buy it. It's not a big deal. It's just a matter of putting it in. So I'm going to go out and troubleshoot a little further. Maybe I'll actually pull a bin stow and go out there with a voltage meter and actually check things like I'm supposed to, instead of just throwing parts of the problem to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I might invest in a voltage regulator.
I would. My recommendation was to get the voltage tester, and then to give Howie a call, because Howie would absolutely be thrilled, and he knows that electronic stuff. He'd be like,
well, he does, but there's a certain amount of power that the battery's supposed to have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's supposed to be charging a certain way. And it runs fine. There's just a stupid light on. Mm-hmm. I'm driving it like that, and it's not affecting anything.
Nice.
So but who knows? They're cars. They're mechanical bungholes.
True, but an older car like that is almost a work of art to keep it functioning and running well.
It's really a labor of love with that,
yeah.
And it helps keep my mind off things. Just going out there, and I can always switch gears if I'm doing DJ stuff and it's kind of stressing me out, or whatever. I'm going to do the car for a while, and it's relaxing. The car stresses me out. Hey, I can go do some lighting videos.
Do something else to flip over.
You can go back and forth. It's kind of a nice distraction.
Holy cats, Jay! How many controllers do you have back there?
That's what I've been doing. It's my DIY project. I built them.
You built a
stuff
set
in the garage, and this is what I made.
Yeah, you built a set out of controllers.
Yeah, that was an 8-track. That was an old belt drive, and the silver one was actually some aluminum Coors light cans.
He just opened up a factory in Malaysia and started building things.
He just started doing these things out of the that other side of the garage. The one side he's got the car, and the other side he's got.
Yeah, I can do that, but I can't figure out that the Zoom meeting was behind the window that says, please wait for the Zoom meeting to open. So when I shut everything off, all of a sudden, there I am in the middle of the screen. I'm like,
Oh, I'm so.
Not supposed to happen that way.
Oh, well, we're good. We gave us a couple minutes to get the car update. So gentlemen,
Good.
tonight, let's talk about some DIY projects. You guys, I'm sure, have seen some people who have been doing some things online. You maybe have been doing some things during this time frame. We talked about the car that Brian's been kind of putzing a little bit with that back and forth.
Sure.
Let's kind of make that first half hour of the show kind of hitting those types of things. So, Jay, since you have been, building controllers out of popsicle sticks, kind of give us which one of those tasks.
Okay, hold on a second. First of all, while Jay talks, I'm going to get coffee because I know I have time. So go ahead.
You do. I'm going to mention you, though. I mean, the DIY projects I'm doing are things like that I've already explained, where I'm now going to use 2 microphones at my weddings. One on a stand for the guests with a new windscreen for each talker, each speaker, and then one just for me. And, in the past, I mean, admittedly, I would use a microphone and hand it to somebody else, and they'd hand it back, and I'd hand it back. And it didn't dawn on me that was an issue. But I'm trying to keep projects kind of focused on where we are when we come out of this.
Right.
I don't have a facade, but I'm getting one, if for no other reason than just to give me some distance. I've spoken with Brian and Howie about some new microphones that I'm going to be investing in.
You are gonna go that route, huh?
Yeah. I'm pretty impressed with that whole thing. I saw the video from Nam that you did, and I'm not going to drop names and everything unless that's appropriate. But
you can drop names.
Oh, okay. It's a company called JTS.
Yes.
Yep.
And they do OEM work for other companies that I already own products from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, John, I think a lot of the DIY that people are doing now is having conversations like this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're opening up to, what can and should I change? Gas is probably at the lowest price I've seen in years out here. So, if I bought an 18-wheel truck trailer setup, I'd be fine. But, I think people are still now going to be redoing vehicles. They're going to be redoing gear. It's 95 degrees out here today. I'm taking cables and putting them in the driveway. They haven't been touched for over a month. But I'm just like, let me just bake everything I own out in the sun real quick, then bring it back in, then, bring the setup down a little bit. So I don't know, by DIY, do it yourself, to me always infers that you're building something, that you're creating something. And I think part of the DJ DIY is going to be redoing things.
Sure.
And, Brian brought it up, you've brought it up about having smaller setups, having easier access to things. We want to show up and have that great impact. But I think critically, because of the way things are going, that things will change enough that maybe backing off a little bit will be a good thing. I've been fortunate. I've been answering a lot of questions about Pioneer gear, oddly enough. I've done a couple of seminars online. Brian and I talked ad nauseum the other night around 2 a.m. about spinning online, and I finally did. I did a big thing on Sunday night for a couple hours. And I have to be honest with you, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that. I didn't think it would be fun. I did it because somebody asked me to, and I had a blast. And I can't wait to do it again. And it's, I think initially it starts off with like, well, let me do this for me or them or whoever. But that's part of the DIY. You know what? It's a lot of fun. Even if nobody's paying attention, just getting it out of your system. Because I don't know how many people are watching. I'm going to guess 2-3 million people, maybe.
Yeah, I would think so. At least.
I would think.
At least.
On a bad day.
I haven't looked at the numbers. I know the first test I did, I was the only one watching myself, but I'm used to that. That's not something that's new to me. I do a lot of things alone, and that's fine with me. That's just fine.
I have mirrors for that reason. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. I think part of this DIY is going to be doing things like that. Like I'm going to try to do a techno set one night this week and do a set one night of songs that I think should have been bigger than they were. And, I'm really impressed with other DJs. We've got DJs in the chill room that are spinning every night.
Mm-hmm.
John's spinning every night. Brian K is spinning every night. These are really good DJs. I mean, it's, we're wedding mobile guys, but, guys are really bringing their A game. And I think it's part of that DIY, how to get through tragedy, is to keep yourself sane and go for what you know and do what you do well. And even though I didn't get it, now I kind of do. Just I mean, I'm not going to break it down, but I literally took 2 RCAs to a mini into this laptop, if you can see it right there. And it took me, Mr. Technology, about 5 minutes to go from that to playing live on Twitch through a simple download program. It really couldn't be any easier. So maybe that's part of my DIY approach.
Sure. I could see
Brian,
that.
outside of the car?
Pardon?
Outside of the car, anything DIY in the DJ world?
You know, I have a friend who is a psychologist, and I saw a Facebook post he made today, which I thought was pretty telling. He said, you know, in this downtime that we have right now, some people fall into this trap of this self-reflection, and then they get into this depression thing. So best thing I think anybody can do is just stay busy. And I've been trying to do that with all kinds of stuff. A lot of cleaning projects. So little things that have needed to be done. And, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who wants to just dedicate my day to working in the shop or working on the corner that's messy or whatever. So I came up with this idea to just take 15 minutes and do a little straightening. And I think in 15 minutes if you can commit to just that, you can make a heck of a difference. You can see a difference that makes you feel good. And if you want to go further, you can, but you don't have to. You can say, okay, that's enough for today. Maybe tomorrow or maybe next week I'll do another 15 minutes in the corner that looks like hell. I've been doing that around here, and most projects have been 10 or 15 minutes. One in particular took about 7 hours, but yeah, it's been really good. It's been productive, and there's nothing else you can do right now. So I've been enjoying that. That's been kind of my DIY thing. I mean, otherwise, kind of thinking of some clever ways that we can go out and do what we do without hurting anybody or violating any rules. Did you see the video I posted yesterday, perchance?
The one on DJing from home with like no money?
No, I did one yesterday. I'm trying to do a video a day. In fact, I've just spent like 5
what was
hours.
the topic?
Well, I was talking about DJing from your car.
Yes, from your
Curbside
car.
DJing.
I did see that. Yeah, from your vehicle.
No, what inspired this was Brian Dowdle shared a video with me. I think it was somebody that Alfred Gonzalez knows who works at ADJ. I don't know this person, but she had a birthday. And obviously you can't go out and party. So somebody rented a van from U-Haul and set up their gear in there. And they had like an RCF rig, and they had a controller and everything. They had a mirror ball in there. They pulled up to her house, opened the doors, and just started jamming tunes for her birthday. Brought her balloons. And everybody was completely distanced. She looked very happy, had some balloons, just made her day, you know? I thought, wow, what a cool, inspiring thing to do. Just to do it, you know, just for fun. So I put together and I didn't put hardly any thought into it. I just did it. I put together a little system in my truck where I was actually using my truck stereo. I was using DJ on my phone and some little Abe coins for lights. So I could pull up to somebody's house if I wanted to, open the doors, crank up happy birthday, put some lights on, and give them a little, you know, shout out for the birthday. How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's a cool little, it's almost like the singing telegram, you know, but social distancing, know, version. I mean, there are a lot of ways you could do it. That was just one way. It is funny because it's the video that got like a whole bunch of likes and a whole bunch of dislikes. Like, and
I didn't like it. I dislike right out of the gate.
Probably. No, but it's just funny because I look at the views on the video and the views aren't huge, but the likes are huge. I mean, like way beyond what I normally get for that many views. Then the dislikes proportionate to that as well is like, wow. So you loved it or you hated it. And more people loved it than hated it. I mean, if I was getting graded at school, I'd still get an A. So, you know, I can take comfort in that. I think some people think I'm suggesting that anybody can be a DJ and they feel threatened and what are we going to do? And they're kind of defensive right now, where I'm like, you know what? I support creative people. I support neat ideas. And I think this is kind of a cool one. I know Stevie, my daughter, you know, my brother Andy, right?
Yeah.
He lives in California, but his son's here. So his birthday was last week. So Stevie goes to his house with balloons ties them to the mailbox, and has a boom box and holds it above her head, say anything style, and blast
Yeah.
happy birthday to him. That was really nice.
That's totally cool.
And then I have another friend, Mike Guy, who I've mentioned before. He was my friend who passed away of cancer. A lot of those records came from Mike. Well, his son Andrew has a group that he actually started it. It's called Wisconsin Big Truck Enthusiasts. So all these guys who have 4x4s, are in this group, and they hang out and talk or whatever. What they've been doing are truck parades for kids with birthdays.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
A little kid can have a birthday, and all you have to do is request it. We're talking about little boys, an adult wouldn't care, or a teenager would be like, that's stupid. But if you got a little kid who's into trucks, they'll all meet like at a school or something at a certain time, and they'll do a truck parade for a kid with flags and honking their horns.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was thinking, maybe I can incorporate some of those DJ happy birthday with lights and stuff into something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Police and fire are doing that out here.
Yeah.
You'll get like a 3-year-old's birthday or a 5-year-old's birthday, and they'll suddenly have 3 or 4 police cars with lights and siren, which, is an awesome treat for a little boy, little girl, whoever, just to know that somebody cares about them.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the reasons you're getting dislikes in that video is when this thing started, we were all in that same, okay, we're all even. We can't do anything yet. Let's wait and see. Now it's been a month and almost a half.
Yeah.
I'm gauging things around March 13th when I canceled out of Mobile Beat. And then that Monday, the 15th, MGM is like, we're closed. And then California by about the 16th, the next day was like, okay, stay in your house. And at first, we're all in an level playing field. Well, now here we are forward, and everyone has a distinct, different take on it.
Yeah.
Some people look at the future positive, some look negative, some look with kind of middle of the road eyes about what should or can I do. But I think the kickback you're getting is because people are now looking back on this time going, shit, I haven't done anything. I haven't planned for today. And if they start opening the doors tomorrow, where am I? And I think it's part of where trauma comes into people's lives, because they're first logistically traumatized, and then comes the emotion. I think we're at the emotion part. I think people are now facing up to the reality of, oh no, if they open the doors tomorrow, I haven't done anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've wasted this month, and now I've got to come to grips with that. Like, it was one thing to have the government take it away or the state take it away, but now you've got to look at it as, what have I done? And I think that's why you're getting kickback, because now you're seeing people's raw emotions.
Well, like I said before, I mean, there's a huge amount of likes proportionate to the number of views. I mean, more than I normally get in a video.
Sure.
Like, normally I get 10 likes per 100. But last I looked, there was like 500 views and like 84 likes, which is a lot more than I normally get.
Wow,
sure.
Then there's 8 dislikes on it, and I'm like, But, I mean, I'm not here to judge anybody as far as where they're at mentally right now.
Right.
I understand, and it's, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but when this all happened, Jay, you were really kind of freaking out a little bit.
Well,
And
I think
no,
freaking
it's-
out because
it's okay,
the
You were
initial
worried.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was, you got up in the morning, and within 2 or 3 hours, someone came along and took thousands of dollars away from you, and you didn't do anything for it.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
I
it was the
understand.
next day, day after day after day.
You do not have to explain yourself. A lot of people were there where it's like, oh my gosh, and
Yeah.
then reflecting, kind of like what I talked about. When you have idle time on your hands, you start reflecting and,
Sure.
thinking, oh, what have I done with my life? And what do I got to do? But you've come so far is what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
I think you've really come far. Some people have gone the other way.
Oh,
But
yeah. And that's
we're all
the
dealing with the
fear factor. And that's where I think it's hard to explain. And I think you'll get this. And I'm sorry if I'm not as clear on it as I could be. But if you take 100 people and put them in a room, after a month, they've put themselves into groups and classes and cliques.
Mhm.
There are leaders, there are workers, there are lazy, there are, I'm not going to admit this is happening. But when you open that door, that feeling you had in the room carries out into the real world. It's very difficult to just oh, great, we're back. Everything's fine. This is going to linger and last. That's part of what being traumatized, which is what we've all been.
Yeah.
That's part of the makeup of that mental / emotional situation.
Everybody
It's
deals
not
with
only
it different.
okay, it's expected.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody deals with it different. And
Right, they do.
I'm a one day at a time kind of guy. How about you, John?
Now I like to kind of look and put plans into place or put thought processes into place and to be able to do what I need to do today to be in a position to have success tomorrow at a point or at a level.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm not the one day at a time thing. I'm not such. There are times when you and I have conversations, whether it's on the shows or when we have them in private, and there's times where your one day at a time thing drives me crazy because
I just don't.
it's like, but Brian, the world is purple and it's not pink and rosy all the time. It's different
Yeah.
colors.
It's like, well, tomorrow will be better. Maybe. I don't know. Today I'm
It's
alive.
Like, yeah, I'm alive today. There's gas in the tank and there's food upstairs and I got my coffee.
I'm good. I'll worry about tomorrow. And I think that really came from, my setback that I had that I hate to bring up, but
What were you like before that?
you knew me before that.
Well, I did, but you seemed more, I think you looked more forward than you do now.
Well, I'll tell you something.
I think you know who you are and where you are, and you're so happy and appreciative that you're like, every day is a blessing. Every day is like,
Yep.
I only get this once, and I'm going to run it for all it's worth.
Well, I'll tell you something personal. When I was in the hospital and we weren't sure which way it was going to go, my father came to me, who worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, his whole life before he retired.
Right.
He said, "You work too hard." I'm like, "Are you out of your mind? I could never keep up with you.
Mm-hmm.
You always worked harder than anybody else. No matter what I do, I'm not working hard enough." He said, "Hold on a minute, kid. I do what I do and it's easy for me to do it. It's nothing for me to do it. I take my time. I do it my way. You work too hard. Slow down." I took that to heart. And then when I came back like I did, when I got my vision back and was able to eventually walk and things like that, I really consider life the bonus round right now. So
Sure.
I lived my life and I had no regrets from my life. And now it's like playing a video game. You get, 3 rounds and you die. I get this little bonus round, right? And keep playing for a while until,
He
I
got
don't
the
know,
green
Pac-Man gets me or whatever. I don't play video games, but that's kind of how I'm seeing things right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and it comes in hand. It's good for my mental state, but keeping busy, like John's saying, DIY projects, little things that you can do right now in the meantime are a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people aren't ready for it, but you know what? Maybe you will be. Maybe now isn't your time. Maybe next week is your time. And when it is your time, there's all kinds of neat stuff that you can do. You just have to be resourceful, I think. You look and see what you have in front of you and you do something with it.
I think one of the people out there that we all know, with Alan Berg, he's been doing a lot of DIY projects, not in entertainment standpoint, but he's getting some projects done around the house. He went
Sure.
and did some shelving in the pantry, and then he made a wall that they had wanted to put up with a wood wall in one of the rooms. Little things like that not only help to take the mind off, as you're referring to, Brian, but it also that sense of accomplishment. Because I think one of the big things that people struggle with is that we feel like we have absolutely no power and we have no control over our lives. And I think that's why you see people quickly jumping to oh, we need to, it's the government and they're evil and they're whatever. That we jump to those things because we feel we have lost all power and all control of our lives.
Yeah, welcome to the club, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what kind of lives everybody here has led, but my life, I'm not complaining about my life, but there have been things that have been completely out of my control. No matter how hard I worked or how hard I tried, it wasn't enough, and I just got kicked in the head. Now, when that happens to you over the course of 40 years, you eventually just kind of get right back up, and it doesn't bother you. There are a lot of people out there where this is the first time they've been kicked in the head.
Yeah.
They have done everything right. They've had a great life. They married well. They went to school. School was easy for them. This is all really great stuff, and I'm so happy for these people. Now they're in this position where it's like, yeah, I've been living here for most of my life where things just don't always work out. So I get it. It's not, it doesn't mean that I don't have empathy, because I absolutely have empathy. But I've been in training for this for a while, and I'm okay. No matter
Right.
what happens, I'll be fine. As long
I
as I'm
think
alive
it's
and breathing, I'm fine. I got Blanca, I got my kid, I got my mom. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters.
you look at fear, and we all know someone mutually who there's no amount of money I could give them to get them on an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I have been afraid. I took, something personal most don't. I flew to LA at 21. I took a bus back to Boston. It was such a bad flight. I'm like, I won't ever fly again. And it was probably, I don't know, 5-7 years before I ever flew again, which isn't, amazing, but enough that I actually sat on a bus for like 77 hours
Yeah.
to go across country,
Hmm.
not to see how beautiful Cheyenne, Wyoming men's rooms are at gas stations
Yeah.
where you wash your hair in the sink, but just the fear. So I get that fear, and I know other fears, but this is that weird, we've never been there before. No one cares who gets this and who doesn't. I think you can't even step up to leadership role now because it doesn't matter to anybody. Nobody cares if you get it and I don't. It's more a matter of, your story tends to speak volumes to people as to how to get through moments. And you have almost a survivor syndrome. Like every day is like, you're like, whoa, this is awesome. Like eyes are open. I'm good.
I feel like, you ever watch The Walking Dead?
No.
Well, there's this
I'm
character
in that
called
rare group.
and she's like a samurai. She's got a katana sword, and she just walks around and kills zombies, and she's fine with that. That's me right now. I'm Michonne. This is not bothering me. I'm thriving in this environment right now for some reason.
But I think you're good every day. And I think that's a lesson that most of us, like when you open your eyes and put your feet on the floor, it would be so amazing to wake up with gratitude and be thankful. But the reality of life is that it tends to dump on people. And we've all known people that look amazing at shows, and then you find out the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in a weird place. I'm not here to judge anybody, nor am I here to give anyone direct advice as to, hey, you should or shouldn't do this or that. I think people like Brian, like you, John, like DJN TV, those are outlets for people, the chill room, to come in and hopefully get a monicum of time that they can call their own and feel like they're moving forward. And I think something like this show is a great example of that. If we came in and said, well, I did build these controllers and Brian built a Mustang and John, I heard you built like 17 homes, people would be like, screw you three. I haven't done anything. I'd rather people thought of us as, wow, good to know. Jay didn't do anything. I mean, I can't point to something and go, look what I accomplished. I didn't accomplish anything.
Well,
in fact,
I'm
the guy scared to do something this week to make up for the last month where I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking here, and Joe's saying in the comments section that he's been productive. He's been doing things.
Great. Well, I don't like Joe.
David Wolf is doing things.
Yeah.
Bar's saying I haven't done a damn thing. And, everybody's got their own thing, and everybody does things at their own.
Here, you want to know what I did? I'll show you what I did.
No good.
I took a Chauvet Freedom Par and I put a piece of white paper over it as a diffuser so I could have light when I shoot videos. That's my accomplishment in a month.
That's not
There
true.
you go.
You've done things.
Wow.
Take your 50 million views on YouTube and get out.
Not only did the paper go over, but I saw that he had like a tape of some sort that kept it attached. So
Howie said he's working on some top secret projects at his
course
leisure.
they
He
are.
loves it. He's FBI though. You know that he's a vet.
John, have you done anything? Maybe you and I can go have a drink after this because
no, okay. If we're going to just say
He's a spy.
no, I can't even say that because I actually put a lot of time into creating that recording, that streaming area, so we could have. It was last Saturday we did a virtual prom here, and the main feed
awesome.
I wanted to have the music video there. Then I wanted to have on the side of that the lyrics kind of ticking through with the highlighting as it went down of the song that was being played. And then we had Nick Cavino help to get me set up with jam text. So we had the text capability that was going over top of the video if we wanted to do that. And then had a couple of different camera angles that we could utilize. And we were streaming all of this last Saturday. So putting all that together has been taking some time to make it to get it there and get it up and running properly. And then on the other side, I've been putting much more time into my weekend handyman and my weekend gardener world, making a outdoor garden set for the gardener videos, and then of course setting up the area over there. And all the Toro signage came in today, so it's like, whoo-hoo, we are about ready to go and start hitting some things. So I've been working in those areas, but some of the things on the DJ business side, I just haven't. I created right before this all started, or early in this process, I created my marketing plan for during this time for micro weddings, and that ad's been running on Facebook here for the last 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, and has been driving traffic and driving some different communications and such with that. And
that's calling it micro weddings.
Micro weddings, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
A micro wedding. What I'm doing with that is I'm taking it's generally going to be 2 to 3 hour day. Smaller sound system. I can come in and I can officiate. It's going to probably be in somebody's backyard. Some creating that soundtrack idea of for the guests to mingle and such. They may have a little meal. They may not. They might do a first dance. They might do a couple of spotlight dances, and then we do kind of a guest, kind of a group hug type of thing, and then we all go home.
Nice.
A micro wedding.
I like it.
So that was put that all together, and the packaging and things with that. And what's interesting with that is I'm getting calls and I'm getting messages with that. People are asking about it, but they're all hesitant, not because they're worried that there won't be the ability to have a micro wedding or a 50-person or less event. It's because they really want to have the 200-person event.
Right.
So I think this micro wedding idea, if it does lock in at 100 people or less events, we're going to have people 2 weeks out that are like, we got to go this way.
We're going to go with the micro wedding.
Exactly.
We're going to do nothing, but we're going to go with it because it sounds.
I think somebody's going to get busted at some point. I think you're going to see someone go, well, they said 50, but we have 80. And then 80 is 100, and then 100 and 150, and it's a private residence, and it's off in the distance.
Here's how that's going to go down. At least in Minnesota, and you're hearing it probably in other states, is that in order for a business to open, they have to have a plan for a COVID plan. Part of that COVID plan for most of these businesses is to have a contract, basically a hold harmless contract, that I go into my hairdresser that I need to sign that if I catch COVID and they can track it back to this establishment, that I hold them harmless. Right. Those types of things are going to be what will keep the venues from allowing that, because they can make a few more bucks, but as soon as they break the law and allowing too many people to be in there, then they assume complete responsibility, which there isn't an insurance company out there that will cover any kind of a COVID related situation. So the businesses are talking big right now and are talking smack that as soon as it's open, we're going to open the doors and everyone's going to come in there. And then the lawyers are going to start.
I think they want to, and I think that they've got an ideology that they can do this, this, and this, and it'll all work out fine. But like you say, I don't think it'll be that instantaneous. I think it's very difficult. Hope is never a plan.
Right.
You can't. Hope's not a plan. That's just reality. The enemy gets a voice. Hope is not a plan. That's the reality of battle and war. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we are. And it's very difficult for a lot of us to say, I can wait till next year. I can't. Or we can wait till December, or we can, there's so many voices going on at once about, well, it'll be good in a month, or it'll be bad in 2 months, or, we had a long talk in the chill room, and I said it's going to be in the 90s and the low 100s past weekend in California. Mm-hmm. I wish I could make a T-shirt called "They Can't Arrest All of Us," because the beach is going to be overrun.
And it
was just. I mean, I'm not smart enough to predict the future, but anybody could have seen everyone was going to show up at the beaches, and they did. Now they're talking about closing those beaches. So, it's.
I'll say this though, to get back on topic a little bit. Some of us older cats out there, and I include myself in that group of people, we had to be really resourceful when we put together our DJ systems when we did what we did. I mean, you couldn't go to the DJ store and get the DJ pack. The DJ starter kit wasn't there. The DJ specific controller, the DJ software, there was nothing DJ that existed.
Mm-hmm.
It was consumer line turntables, maybe a mixing board that you purposed for your use for DJing and band equipment. We had to all just DIY it.
Yeah.
Right.
So now some of these younger guys out there are like, wait a minute, our formula no longer works. The formula I was taught, the formula that I learned isn't working anymore. What do I do? Where some of us old farts are like, wait a minute, we've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
We've had to think outside and come up with new ways and new ideas to get ourselves out there. It's not formulated. It's not, okay, you check this box, and this box, and everything's going to be fine. No, we never had it that way. So maybe it's easier for us older guys to come up with these really cool ideas, like your idea, John, with the little wedding. I like that. We call it a micro wedding.
Yeah, a little micro wedding. It's interesting,
Yeah.
Brian. You mentioned that, and now I'm thinking back to a time where we had to evolve because there were two main venues that we used to do back in the early days, as when we were doing 20 miles or less. One burned down, and one they sold. So 2/3 of the weddings in the areas were gone, and there weren't all the little barns and different things that people did. Some of the VFWs would not do weddings at that particular time just because of how things were going back in the late 80s, early 90s. So we had to switch because we went from doing the indoor type weddings to now we had to put together systems that could go outside and could potentially handle some water if it would start to rain and be something we could do that. And I'd completely forgotten about that. But yeah, we had to make that switch to doing outdoor events. And that included, now we were doing county fairs, and we were doing some outdoor things with county fairs. So we had to figure out ways to handle them and do the early tent thing when those tents at that time were all wood structures with a variation of a fitted tarp in the top. And yeah, we had to adapt because having at that time, the carpeted speakers, the wooden carpeted speakers, and using those as we did with all of our shows.
And they stunk.
But we couldn't have done that because you get that heavy dew at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and those speakers are shot within about 3 shows. So we had to improvise.
What's funny? I think about something that I talk about in stroke survivors forums a lot, is that a lot of people think about what they've lost, but what they don't think about is what they kept and what they can do with what they have in front of them, opposed to what they can't do with what they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the guy renting the U-Haul and jamming for the girl's birthday. That is you talking about, maybe this micro wedding thing could be something that would work, would be a nice compromise. It's just working with what you can. It's being creative. And this is where I think collectively, maybe the best idea hasn't even been thought up yet.
Very possible.
Maybe the most clever thing hasn't been thought up yet. I'll tell you what I found inspiring. The first inspiring thing that I heard about COVID was before we even went into quarantine. In China, they went into quarantine well before we did. And the school system there said, hey, we're going to do all school via an app. You're going to do all your homework. You're going to get all your assignments via this app. All students are going to have it. Here's the app. It works very well.
Mm-hmm.
So every student in China had this thing on a tablet or something. Well, what the kids learned, or they figured out on their own, is that when an app has a rating of an average of 1 star, Apple deletes it because it decides to share the app. So all the kids started the app a 1-star rating, and Apple deleted it. School's over for the year. That was inspiring. They were working with what they had.
That's funny. That is
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think every one of those kids just deserves to move on to the next grade for being that clever. They've already accomplished whatever stupid thing they were going to teach them in 10th grade. They can go on to 11th grade now. Teach us something new, guys, because we just taught you something.
I just taught you.
I think that is awesome. That was inspiring to me. They were working with what they had. They were doing what they could do with what was in front of them, to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, which was not to have homework when they're home. They got enough to worry about. They figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Those are the kind of things that I like. And maybe it's wrong that I like that, but I found it inspiring. It was looking at things from a different way and thinking outside of the box. And I don't know. That's good stuff. And that's what I think we should be doing now.
Two very quick things. Brian was born 150 years too late, and I've watched 4 episodes of Ask This Old House, John. So it's sort of the same thing. I haven't built anything, but I'm watching Ask This Old House. So I feel that's kind of a medium.
Yeah, you're pretty much it's pretty much the same thing.
I'm preparing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
gathering information.
No, and you're right, Brian. I mean, you know, we've had to talk through headphones. We've had to jury rig stuff. We've had to do weird stuff. But it's so difficult to try to explain. You know, I think I've told this story where my youngest, years and years ago, when I had a regular phone and plugged it in, I said, hey, this is for emergencies if the power goes out. What is it? It's a phone. He picks it up and starts walking, and the cord snapped. It's like, well, how do I walk around the house? I'm like, you don't.
You stayed there.
By the way, this is a car thing that you'll both appreciate, especially Brian. When I got the Ford, had the 93, they got in. How long do you think it took them to look around like this? I'm like, it's right there. Where's the other seatbelt? There isn't one. What do you mean? It's just a lap belt. Like, this is all you get. Right. There was no shoulder belt.
Right.
I don't understand. I'm like, well, welcome to an old pickup truck. I don't know what to tell you.
It's like getting in an airplane, guys. You're looking
what's this? I'm like, that's how the window goes down. Where's the button? No button.
Right.
And I think we're at that point now. And, you know, the chill room and videos and everything else. I mean, you're watching the trends the same way I am. I'm starting to see videos getting very vindictive. People are getting on, like, 2 weeks ago, the video was, hey, how to do a great wedding. And now the video is like, hey, how to, like, not do anything. And I can't see it. Like, I hate everybody. It's like, whoa, what just happened?
There's a lot of anger going.
Here, I want you to remember one thing, the word hope. Helen from up in Canada, who you both have met at different shows, Helen reminded me of a post I put up 2 years ago, and the word hope. And broken down, now I totally, hold on, I need my phone. I totally forgot what it was.
Help others P less. I don't know.
No. It's like that. It's like, it's pain ends is the PE.
Hold on, pain
ends. I think it
ends.
is. I think it's help others, pain ends. Or hold on, pain ends.
Hold on, pain ends, yeah.
Hold on, pain ends. So this too shall pass. We will all look back on this in a certain point and think it's great. It'll just be that bump in the road where we're better prepared for the future.
We've never had to go through anything like this. No one in this room had to go through anything like this. No. The worst we've ever seen, I think, in our lifetimes was probably 9/11.
Mm-hmm. And even that was just, it was fear, but it didn't interrupt much. Yeah. The next day, everything was shut down. But, I mean, I went through it. I drove up the coast that week with my wife, who was pregnant at the time, so we didn't fly. We were supposed to be flying on the 12th. Obviously, we didn't. And things were right back.
I think about my father's generation, my mother's generation.
Oh, they went to war. They had the Depression. They had, all sorts of stuff. We've gotten away with a lot.
I'm hard on baby boomers, but they had Vietnam. They had to go through that, and that was a big deal. And we've never had that big deal. Here it is, and I'm thinking about, like, my daughter. Right, she's 22. She's going through this the same time I'm going through. Like, both of us have had a relatively event-free life when it comes to major things in the world.
Right.
And here it is. And I'm like, kid, we're doing it together. This is the first time I've had to do it. This is the first time you've had to do it. We're in this together, kid.
And we'll be at a show again. We'll be, and you both probably disagree with this statement, but I use it a lot. It's on till it's not. So as far as I'm concerned right now, until they say no, I got a glimmer of hope. I know hope's not a plan. That I will see the two of you at the Irish pub mid-August.
Hey, I'm there.
But here's the thing. It's on till it's not on. Mm-hmm. And right now,
nobody knows anything right now, Jay. Nobody can say anything for certain right now. We don't know. So we just got to wait. And it's okay not knowing, by the way. I know a lot of people have to have answers to every question in life. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who says, I don't know, and it's okay that I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things. If I really wanted to know, I think I'd probably go to medical school and figure it out. But I don't, that's not my thing. I like music. So I'm just going to let people smarter than me tell me what's going on.
I just heard you say you're buying all the drinks. That's all I heard come out of your mouth. So I'm excited.
Because I drink all the drinks too.
Yeah, that's
exactly why you can buy him.
He is that guy.
Coffee.
We should
Coffee
wrap up.
for all my guys.
We should wrap.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh.
We're wrapping.
Yeah, let's wrap it up here, guys. We are at about 1:45, so that way we can pop out. Thank you guys for being with us out there. You can go out to. There's 2 links I'm going to give you. djntv.com/help. That is a place you can go sign up for the DJ and TV Insider area right now. It's wide open, so you guys can go in there and get those training videos. But they're behind a password wall. In essence, you have to log in because there's some music shows that Brian and I have done over the years, and those have to be behind a login. Otherwise, the spiders find them, and Vimeo shuts my account down. So djntv.com/help is the access. So you are the free code and you can jump in there and get that. The second one is djntv.com/chill. That's the chill room. That's where folks are going to be going right after the show to hang out and chat. Check it out if you have not been there before. I know there's some of you tonight who have not seen the show before. Thank you for joining us, by the way, for the first time. And head out to the chill room. Just go there, and it's the time to talk with others who are going through the same things you are within the DJ industry right now.
Real quick, there's 26 people watching right now. There's 9 likes on this video. Something's wrong. So like the video, please. And I will be in the chill room as soon as I render a video. So give me a little time. As soon as I get my video rendered, I'll be in the chill room. So
Me too.
Excellent. Sounds great.
I'll probably be there immediately. I just got to do a thing, and then I'll be in there.
I'll be in there shortly as well. But yeah, it's a great getaway. As
I'll
is
like the
watching
video.
here and training and learning.
Review.
Can I give a shameless plug?
Yeah, please.
Friday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is...
Oh, you're on with Katie.
I'll be on with Katie.
Yeah.
On NLFX Pro's half-hour interview program thing they've been doing lately with different people from different manufacturers. I'll be on talking about Pioneer gear and things like that.
No, you won't. No, you won't. She won't have you talking about Pioneer gear. She's going to ask you questions like, Jay, if you were any tree, what kind of tree would you be? That's the type of
I think an oak.
I was expecting the other types of questions, and she's like, so if you could be a color, and that color was a sound.
I'm like,
for real? That's, oh, yeah.
And I'm not
glad I signed up for this.
I'm not. I'm not just. But yeah, it was.
What
not.
color would I be? I'd be silver, like the DDJ SZ1. This is a Serato-based controller, 2 independent microphones.
But yeah, I was
I'll
on.
get around her.
I was.
By the way, we
Wednesday.
went from 9 likes to 17 likes in like a minute. So
Excellent.
thank you guys
Thank
for
you guys.
liking the video.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
You should do this YouTube thing, Brian. I'm telling you, every time you mention it, you seem like you got a handle on it. You should get a channel, make videos.
I'm too busy for that kind of noise.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
that's
well,
too bad. Because I think you got something to say.
Opportunity.
You may have something to add to the video community.
Oh,
I'll give you a name. We'll call you Elliot Skin. Just to start with. Yeah.
I like it.
That just rolls off the tongue.
Practice and ignore. Something like that.
Yeah, that's catchy. That's really catchy. Thank you. Thank you guys for being with us once again. We'll be back. Let's see. Tomorrow night, we've got a live show coming in at 10 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be doing Wedding Chat tomorrow night. So we'll see you then. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.